Today, I challenged myself to make 3 different VTuber models using Vroid Studios for free, using 3 different techniques that you can use yourself. The first technique is only using stuff that I can find in Vroid. This includes the clothes and hair presets. The second model, I challenged myself to texture it all myself. This includes the face, the eyes, and the hair. And the clothes. The third model, I challenged myself to find free textures on Booth to apply to the model, and I could only use stuff found in Vroid without texturing anything myself or creating anything myself. So let's jump right into it. As for technique 1, I know I had a very limited amount of stuff that I could work with, but nonetheless I could still work with it. So I went with this cute, very cute character. And then I just went into Vroid and went wild, went woo woo. Now with type 2, I know I had a little bit of leg room of what I was able to do, and I also just wanted to show you the kind of stuff that you can do in Vroid. And as I was building this character, I was kind of looking at it, I was like, something about this looks familiar. And then I realized, it dawned on me, this is starting to turn out like Iron Mouse. Pink hair is quite a unique trait amongst VTubers, eh? I changed it up a bit and thought, nah, look at this, it's a little festive, it's also pretty cute, so she looks cute. The third model, I know I had a bit of creative liberty, but I also had to take into consideration the kind of stuff that I'd find in Booth. So if you're going to use this type of model making, it might be worth looking at Booth first and finding the stuff that you wanted to use, and then building your character. Honestly, the time it took me to make these Picrew references wasn't too bad. With a mean of 7, it's pretty good, it's pretty good. Now as for the time it took me to make the characters in Vroid, I would advise you to pick your poison. Pick your poison, pick it right now. But in hindsight, using all 3 techniques all at once would probably cut your time down a lot. As for the first technique, it only took me 18 minutes to do, and compared to the other 2 times, it was really good. So if you're very new to Vroid, I suggest this first technique to get used to it, because it is a tricky program to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's like ice, you just slide. The hair and the face was probably where I spent most of the time within these 18 minutes because I just couldn't get it right. I didn't like how it was looking, and I think that's the only thing that Vroid really lacks is its customizations. Once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to navigate, especially if you learn how to make your own hair sets and textures for your clothes. But besides that, getting used to it is a little bit tricky. I didn't spend any time on the body because I don't really think about body types. And there isn't a lot of body customizations that you can do in Vroid. As for clothing, I knew they had a turtleneck option, but I'm just so sad that it's so short and I could find no pants to go with it. So I was like really just beating on my table knowing that I couldn't actually customize the item because those were the rules. Don't customize the item, just use what you have. But I did customize it to get the black color, but that's the only thing you can really do in the program. Now as for how it came out, not too bad, not too bad. I wasn't as happy with the clothes options once I realized that I couldn't really customize the sweater, but coming from this image, not bad, not bad. And you can do it at home with literally no artistic talent. As long as you have a reference photo, you can do this. Now as for model 2, this boy took me 3 hours and 20 minutes. See, if I knew what kind of clothes I was going to be putting on the model, like what I was going to be designing, I probably would have cut that time in half. But I spent a lot of the time trying to customize the dress and make it all look nice because it just wasn't fitting. Anyway, it took me a while to get all the colors working together for the clothes. But once I got it, I just ran with it. I was like, I'm done with this. No more. Now as for texturing the hair and the clothes for your model, you'll need to export the guides, like how I did with the dress, to then put into your desired art program. And I use Fire Alpaca, which is free to use, so go grab that if you don't already have a program like Procreate. If you guys would like a tutorial on how to texture each item, or even just how to texture clothes and hair separately, I'd be happy to do a tutorial. So just let me know in the comments if you'd like a tutorial on that. It's very easy. But the part that I want to draw attention to is hair. Hair is such a unique item in Vroid that you can do literally anything with. You can make hoods, you can make sprinkles, you can even make the little headdress thing that maids wear. I made that for one of my other characters, but you can do so much with hair. And if you look at my third model, you'll see that I use hair to make horns. The little sprout that comes out of the head is also made of hair. You can do so much with it. Now here's just a quick tip if you're going to be using different colored hair for your character like I have here. I used a grayscale color palette as Vroid is very friendly to using multiple colors for just one texture. So if you want a nice shade, instead of just using black or dark gray, use purple. Purple just kind of brings out the color a little bit more, and it works really nicely. And honestly, I reckon it turned out really cute. I'm definitely gonna use this for something. I'll find something, but I'll use it. Now this model I was really proud of once I got it done because you can really show how much stuff you can do in Vroid. If you get used to texturing, like how I did with the face, you can just texture stuff inside the app. It's really good. Vroid doesn't get enough credit for how much customization it gives you inside the program. And if you just get used to it, like doing it over and over again, you can get some really good results. Though this did take the longest, I reckon it turned out the best. And for free? Shit! It only took me an hour and 10 minutes to make the third model, and considering that it took me 3 hours and 20 minutes for the second and only 20 for the first one, this was a good middle point. And if you use all three techniques, I reckon you could really cut down on time and make something that really looks nice. The reference photo was very useful in narrowing down what I was looking for, but there were some stuff that I couldn't find for free. But there are paid options, so if that's something that you'd like to do, you can pay for stuff, and there are some really cool designs on Booth. Look at mine. But I do have to say, out of all the customized items, I really did like the sprout a lot. I thought that was really cute. For the face texture, I found it really hard to find something that I was looking for, as when I was applying the textures that I found, it just wasn't working. And so when it comes to making your own model and looking for face textures, I think it'd be either better to pay or learn how to make your own face textures, because learning how to make the textures yourself could save you a lot of money and also probably not a lot of time. You're going to spend time on the model itself, so you're not going to save time, but you're going to save money. Now when it came for searching for items to look for, one thing that I did encounter when applying the textures onto my character is there are really detailed designs on Booth. Like for instance with the eyes, I applied them onto my character and I was like, oh, wow, that's very detailed, and it does look really scary. And at one point I did reckon that the model looked like a vampire. I was like, that's not really the aesthetic I'm looking for, but it looks good. But honestly, credits to all the artists that I used for this model. I will be putting them in the end credits of this video and also in the description and links to the items that I used, because honestly, go off. Like some of these designs are really cool and I really enjoyed them, and I'm probably going to use them in the future, especially the hair textures. The hair texture was so very beautiful. Now for this model, I did find it a bit difficult to find things to apply to my model, especially free things, but if you're willing to spend a little bit of cash, you can really find some nice things to put onto your model. If you missed it at the end, I did end up putting the hoodie that I'm currently wearing onto the model and also using jelly nail set that you can find on my booth. I do have a lot of free item clothings currently on my booth, so if you want to check that out, you absolutely can. The link's in the description. But honestly, creating Vroid models is something that you have to get used to. It's an art form. It's literally just texturing, coloring, and also modeling, which, if you can get that under your belt, can be really rewarding. But if you don't have the time or just can't figure out how to use Vroid, there are artists out there that will absolutely help you bring your model to life. And I would like to be one of those artists for you. And if you'd like me to bring one of your models to life, use the link down in the description to commission me and I will get back to you, hopefully. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video on how to make your own VRoid model for free. And that's all I have for you today, folks. And I hope you found this interesting and also helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.